5 years and my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope for a destination. I realized quickly when I should that the world was made up of this brotherhood of man for whatever it means.
Talofa Lava, at this time, I'd like to ask our candidates, please, if you can make your way up to the stage to your assigned seating. And we'll start promptly at 6. Te lo le paia le aufia whaapea le malo le atinu o lo mai mua mai ala televise whaapea le upenga ta whailangi. Ai, whai au masue le mātou asosi vai lo ia i Amerika Samoa e whaatalo wha atu i tō paia ma tō mamalu. Whaatai tele lava lo tō awai mai, ua mamalu le afiafi e tō whaatasi mai le mātou whaamoemoe. Ua langona le mātou asosi le fia le vai atu tō whafonga matango fia. Avea o masuia le mātou perstene sui tusunga ia miti Jessup Taase e whaftai atu ia o tō ai mai se foi se matuu whapito atu le mamalu o sui tō wana tui tau wā mo tofi tō wana ma lutene tō wana mo tato malo tulo na lava o tō sam whainga o lea leo o ai se whamatalanga le au auna o te whaanono i atu i le mamalu o le whaafonga anga a le au fia ai o la se i liu le ngana a tonu e anga tonu ai se whaamatalanga. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the American Samoa Bar Association, our Madam President Mitzi Jessup Taase, and our executive committee, I'd like to warmly welcome you all to our gubernatorial forum this year. A special welcome and thank you to our gubernatorial candidates joining us this evening. We commend them for their bravery and their commitment in stepping to the spotlight and committing to take on these leadership roles. Our Bar Association has hosted these forums for a few years now as a public service for our community, so that voters have an opportunity to hear from their candidates for governor and lieutenant governor. As a Bar Association, we are neutral, and we hope to provide a neutral atmosphere so that the voters can hear from everyone. So tonight, we hope to provide an opportunity for the candidates to address some of the questions and issues raised by the public. Our program tonight is available on the QR code there. We're trying to keep up with the time, so you can scan the code and it'll give you the program. But our program will go as follows. We'll start off with an opening prayer by the public defender and a member of the Bar Association, Reverend Asawa Fumono. After the opening prayer, we'll have welcoming remarks by our president, Mitzi Jessup Tase. And then we will have a brief introduction of our candidates and our moderator. And then the moderator will go over the rules and procedure for tonight. And then we'll go straight into the opening statements and questions. We hope to give you about an hour and a half of questioning of our candidates. Our program will be exactly 2 hours. So the meat of this program tonight is for you to hear from our candidates. So around 7:45, we hope to then have our closing statements by our candidates. And then you'll see me again to just wrap up and close up. At this time, I'd like to call Reverend Asawa Fumono, please, to open us with a prayer, after which I welcome our President, Mitzi Jessup Tase, for her welcoming remarks.
Greetings, everybody. I've been asked to say a prayer, but it would be remiss for me to just come up here and pray. I would like to just say a few words, and then I'll go ahead and hand the pulpit over to the president. I would like to greet everybody here, especially our candidates. Awafionga Kovan City. Man Pedeti Pan Posia Momo, Mr. Foyle, Lieutenant Kovan. Awafionga Pole Tofato Toya, La Pui, and Yasau Ale. Fatalo Fat Foilo, Fionga Pula. Ya. Tofal Matua Ya Pulu, Kilovaya to Yay. O whionga vai tau tolu, ia me se foi, ia le a whionga pole, tō whai a tau white. Members of the bar, friends, I just want to say it's a privilege and an honor to be here to say this opening prayer. But before I do that, I just want to refer to a verse from the Bible, which is why I mentioned earlier on I cannot just say the prayer and go sit down, right? Prefer to say a scripture which hopefully would help us tonight. And I'll be reading from the Psalms 46, verse 10. Here's the word of the Lord from the New International Version. Briefly, it says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the nations, and I will be exalted in the earth." Very briefly, be still is something that I think we have lost. It's become a curse in our society because most of us have lost the art of being still before God and being quiet before God. We become so busy with our everyday chores and our jobs, and we forget to be still before the Lord. So What the Bible is saying here, be still, is just stop worrying. Stop struggling. Stop trying to control events and things that's happening in your life. If you have done your best in whatever, then leave the rest to God. God is saying here, look, be still. You've done what you're supposed to do. Leave the rest to me. Don't try to do my job. The other few words that the scripture mentions is that I want to tell you that I am God. Know this, I am God. This speaks to us, all of us, acknowledging the authority, the faithfulness, and the sovereignty of God in our lives. All of us here. That's something we need to do every day, acknowledge that God is in control, not us. We like to be in control of every situation. But I'm here to remind you, God is in control. And the last part is, I will be exalted in the earth. I will be exalted in the earth. This means that God's purposes will prevail, and his glory will be recognized by all people of all nations. See, we often forget that God is God. He is the omnipotent God, all-powerful. He is the omniscient God, all-knowing. He knows everything about everything. Knows a lot more about politics than we do. He is omnipresent. He is everywhere. At the same time, he is here tonight. And it's my hope that we listen to his voice as we listen to the candidates. And that is why I believe we need to surrender our lives to God in every aspect of our lives, even in public service. And that's the only way for us to find peace, prosperity, when we realize that God is God. God said to Moses, go tell those people downstairs, when they ask who I am, just tell them I am who I am, I am who I am. Jesus said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the last. Of everything else we do, make sure that we understand that God is in control. In the final analysis, he is God, and we need to surrender control of our lives to him. Lord, we thank you for this wonderful opportunity for us to hear from our leaders. We thank you for this time that we can appreciate what they have done already and what will be done in the future, their promises, their dreams of the future, and what they plan to do for American Samoa in the next 4 years. We ask that you would speak to our hearts tonight, enlighten your people, and most of all, I ask for your anointing upon the candidates. Tau whauunga ia ia wauauna, e whionga ko vansiri, me se foi le lutena ko vana. Sui tau wā, sila sila alofa mai, o lo iai me mana umia e fia forasia, o ani forasanga o lo umia e fia au mai luma, a ware whaafonga anga Amerika Samoa e meise I lato o le loifo le nei malu. Whaapupula, whaamalama, whaamatala loto, ina ia whaapena o na manino, le whaafonga le atunuu, ina ia o le teimi e whaiaia lato whainga palota, whaia male poto, male ata mai, whaia male totoa, whaia male loto alofa, whaia male mana tunatu, ia te oe le atua siri siri ese, o e lava o lo pulea me uma, o oe o le pongai o me uma, o e fo i mātou te tō manga atu iai i so se taimi. Ia maulunga lo vi inga le atua tōru tasipia, le ta mā le alo, ma le anganga sa. Amen e mame.
Good evening and welcome to the American Samoa Bar Association Gubernatorial Forum. It is a privilege to have all of you here with us tonight. We're gathered together tonight to witness a pivotal discussion that will shape the future of our community with our esteemed candidates for governor and lieutenant governor, who are all ready to tackle and address the critical issues that are important to us today. Thank you to our candidates for your commitment to public service and for your participation tonight. Could we please give them all a hand of applause? To our audience, your presence here today is a testament to your commitment to our community's future. Participating in the gubernatorial process is crucial. It is an opportunity for every voice to be heard and to shape policies and laws that affect our daily lives. It is an embodiment of our democratic values, where each citizen's participation strengthens the very fabric of our society. The forum tonight is more than just a platform for our candidates to share their visions and beliefs. It is a space for active civic engagement. It allows us to ask the tough questions, to seek clarity on pressing issues, and to ensure that our leaders of tomorrow are aligned with our collective goals and aspirations. Being here, you contribute to the vibrancy, the health, and the strength of our democracy. Your engagement and questions will help guide our dialogue tonight and ensure that we cover the issues that are most important to you. Now, without further ado, let's get started and hear from our candidates. Thank you all for being here, and let's make this a forum to remember. Ia Manu'a tatuafiafi.
I thank you, Reverend Asawa, for that beautiful prayer and inviting the Spirit with us. And thank you to our President for the wonderful welcoming remarks. And moving along with our program tonight, I wanted to just briefly introduce our candidates who are seated on the stage in alphabetical order. We have first our Manu'a La'apui team, Governor Manu'a Palepoi, Sialenga Manu'a, and Lieutenant Governor La'apui Talawenga Eliasalo Va'alele Ale. In the middle, we have the Pula and Pulu team, Pula Ali'i Nicolau Yuli Tuitele Panga Pula for governor, and his running for lieutenant governor is Pulu II Jr., who unfortunately cannot be with us tonight due to family obligations. And then at the end, last but not least, we have Vaitautolu Faftai Talia Iaulualo for governor, and for lieutenant governor, my fellow Dr. Mary Tofite'e for lieutenant governor. In the interest of time, I will not be able to go over their impressive backgrounds, but we invite you to, again, scan our QR code that has there the biographies for our candidates. We want to give them as much time so that you can hear directly from them. We have asked the candidates, we've collected from the public questions for tonight. So all the questions for tonight are from the public. We received an overwhelming response of over 200 questions. After reviewing them for redundancy and neutrality, we were able to get them down to 87 questions. We had asked the candidates to be prepared to answer any one of those 87 questions. Unfortunately, we will not be able to get through all those questions. We'll try to get through as many questions as possible, but in a meaningful manner. In that case, we encourage the candidates to try and address the public's questions in other ways between this time and election time, so that they can try and address some of the concerns and issues and questions from the public. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce our moderator, Sharon Rancourt. Sharon, if you want to turn around, do a curtsy. Sharon flew all the way from Honolulu to join us. She practiced, she's a member of our Bar Association and is currently our elected ABA delegate. She practiced in American Samoa from 2002 to 2017 and is currently living in Hawaii with her 2 children. Council Rancourt is assisted by our Bar Secretary, Julia Furlong, who will be our timekeeper for this evening. I will now turn over the time to our moderator, who will go over the rules and procedures for tonight. Thank you. Sorry, I think I'm gonna have to give you this mic. Bear with us.
Talofa, welcome to our candidate teams, the public, and members of the American Samoa Bar Association. I am honored to be moderating this forum, and right now I would like to go over the rules for tonight's forum. Each team will have 2 minutes for an opening statement, and at the end of the forum, when the questions are done, 2 minutes for a closing statement. All questions will be asked in English. Candidates, however, may answer in English and/or Samoan, but should be mindful of the time limits per question. For the questions, each team will have 2 minutes to answer each question. No candidate or team may speak after the time allotted. Julia Furlong, and she's sitting to my left, will be our timekeeper. She will enforce the time limits. There will be 3 signals given to the candidates. The first, when there are 30 seconds left. The second, when there are 10 seconds left. And the third will be a stop signal when time has run out. Each team can choose which team member will answer the question. If both team members choose to answer, they are still, among the 2, limited to 2 minutes to answer the question. We will have a particular order for asking questions tonight. We will start with team number 1, which is Lamanu, and Laupui. Then we will move on to team number 2, which is Pula and Pulu, and then team number 3, Faitautolu and Tofete. After the first question, we will then rotate the order in which we ask, and we will start with team number 2, and then go to team number 3, and then go back to team number 1. And that is how it will continue until all of the questions are finished. During the forum, the candidates shall not have access to any other person other than the moderator. For example, if a candidate needs to have the question repeated, they must address the moderator directly. Candidates shall not be allowed to interrupt one another. The moderator, which is myself, will strictly enforce this rule. The moderator may interrupt any candidate if I believe that the candidate is straying from the subject matter of a question. The live audience is also instructed not to applaud or make any noise during the forum or do anything visible or audible to express support or opposition to any candidate during the forum. Any member of the public who disrupts this forum may be removed from the auditorium. And finally, for those of you that have mobile devices, we kindly ask that you silence your mobile devices for the duration of this forum. We are now ready to turn to the opening statements and then to the questions. For those of you, you'll see that we do have some screens projected, and we will be projecting the questions onto those screens for the benefit of everybody in the audience and also who may be watching from a distance as well. So now I will turn to team number 1, Le Manu and La Pui, and ask that you take 2 minutes to give your opening statement. Thank you.
Ole anganga whaftai le nei a fiafi. Ia ole whai masui ole fioatu ole tau whātou to'o ia La Pui. Ia le whionga ko wana lutena nei a fiafi ia e whatalofa whawhei loai. Langona o tau sa ma whai ngā le ale o iese ma whamatalanga. Ona o le teimi ia na whau sa unoa le taitai o le nei whamoe moe. Ia me se fo i le sunga le whawhiangainga. Ai te uia na ma whawhei loai whatalofa atu le malu leo fia. Malu fo le tanu whafonga. Ia me se fo i nisi o whafonga mai whafo. Silfia le nei whamoe moe ona o ma tamu whainga. I le tofi o le kovana, ma le lutena kovana. Ia e whawau pe ona iei le nei whamoe moe malon tā penanga. Ai ta ui na ma whawheiloa i le nei a fiafi. Ia ai meise le mamalu wa fia le nei le fiafi u tātou whatasi. Ia manuia fo i whamoe moe i sui tau wā le upumonia ia upo le tunu e ta aloa tama uso. Ia ma alo whaanga whaamesenga i le whionga tua i a pulu ia ono wale awai i nei a fiafi ono tūlanga whale a inga. Ao tupu mai o le tunuu ia whawheloai, sunga i whawhengainga, whawheloai, ia mese lau to uli mana au fuero loa. Komiti e se foi o tātou whatasi. Tau tua nā, ia o le whaiva ne o le whaiva le tālonga. To e tolu vai aso uma, o le mawhamtalanga whaataitai o leo tunu. Ia mesa le tofi o tautua i ei maua. Ia tautua nā le tātou tā penanga ma fofuanga. Ia tau nu manuia le whamoe mo leo tunu. I se unga le lei. Ma aina i o tātou ainga. Ia mesa si o tātou o tunu whaaftai.
Technician. Ele ola le mic whamoe mole.
Team number 2, you may begin.
Talo flava le paia mo le manu. O le au fia le nei a fiafi. O langona fo i le e anganga fia ma le anganga whaftai u tātou wheloai. Le whionga le kovana ma le sui kovana. Whapea fo i le sui tau vai a vai tau tolu ma tau fitee. E whamalulu atu le paia ma le mamalu le atunu. O leo whatasi mai le a whionga le matua i a pulu ai junior. O loo whai malanga atu o ie i whale velave whale ainga i whafo. O le pa ia whaatulo atu i le whale nga fulu ma le manua tele. Tai ngane fo i le tapua inga i a puleono i sala whai ma tumua. O le ale o le leo i tua e o atu le pa ia la asilasi o le atulu. E whaingta o le tātou teimi le nei a fiafi. Ai whaatola whaatu le pa ia mo le malu le atunu e o sila mai fo i le TV. Whaaftai tele atu le vaenga a le America Samoa Bar Association mo le nega Mano'a. O le langona e mala whainga upo le tātou atunu. E le whalala fua lau le niu. Ai whalala ona le matangi. O nei la, ua whātasi atu rau nei tangata whātau wā se tulou. Ia le maa soa ma pulu. Ia vea Manu'a o ni tangata tau wā ina ia o ngā mo le whainga maa lo le tātou atunuu i le alu luma. E ilo tali tununga ana whaatasi mai la whionga le matua le nei afiafi. O san tau talanga e whapea. E le tā ua le kovana po le sui kovana. Au le mea pitu e sili tā ua o a tātou whanau. Ma le lofa i o tātou atunu. Whaftai.
Thank you. Team number 3.
Ai le ila aloa se whaamtalanga o le nei afiafi. O te whaatulo watu pa ia māua lunga o le nei mat. Ai mai se le mamalu o le atunuu o lo whaafonga mai i laua ma maota ma atunuu e mamau. Ai avea ia lo nei leo whaatau waa. E whai masui o lo ua whala se elua. Ma le awhionga i le li o ngafa. Ia vai tau tolu. E whaatalofa atu, whaatulou atu. I lo o tau pa ia ma lo o tau mamalu sau o le nei afiafi. O pa ia ma o sa, o le anunu atu whaatini o tau sala. Awai le ngafa tau limaina es whaamtalanga. Tulou na lava. Ma te whaatalofa atu fo'i. Ma le whionga ia vai tau tolu, whionga le kovana sili, ma le whionga lutena kovana sui tau wā. Taina le foi le songa ia pula, ma pulu, i le nei afiafi, ma alo le soifua maua ma langi e mama. To the members of the American Samoa Bar Association, on behalf of gubernatorial candidate the Vaitau Tolu and Taufte'e team, we wish to express our gratitude for the invitation for our team to share our plan for a change American Samoa and the plan for a better American Samoa in the next four years. My fellow people of American Samoa, with your vote and support, Vaitautolu and I pledge to unite our community to bring transparency and much needed change of the government services. Manu'a tele le afiafi, whaftai.
Thank you very much. We're now going to turn to the question portion of this forum. And with the questions, I am going to start with team number 1. But first, briefly, I do hear what sounds like a cell phone notification that might be beeping. And I'd ask everybody again just to double check your cellular or mobile devices and make sure they're set to silent. Thank you. All right. Question number 1. Many voters remain undecided and are seeking concrete reasons to support one candidate over another. What sets you apart from your opponents in this gubernatorial race?
Whaatalofa atu I le paia malu o le atunuu ua mawhai ona whaatasi le nei aso. Ia le nau sauno atu le whionga le kovansili e whaaleo ailo maa uanganga fia ona o le nei avanoa. Talofa, Councilor Sharon, welcome back. It's election year. You know, there's lots on people's minds. There's lots on that's going on. So people need to take their time, and I'm glad people are considering the candidates. That's a measure and a result of a effective civic conversation that is happening. So the fact that some voters may be undecided is a good thing. That means that they are researching, they're looking, and they're trying to find who to best lead our island nation, our country, in the next few years. Elections in Samoa, as you know, are unique. We take our elections and our votes very seriously. But when the election is done on November 5th, all of these families will be wearing one color, and that is the color of American Samoa. So I am proud of the fact that our people are passionate about elections, passionate about motivating their teams, and that there are also some folks who are, taking some time to consider the issues and think about what is right for American Samoa. I'm glad that we have candidates who are willing to run for office, and I am glad that I am running with Governor Manu'a to continue the work that we have done in the past 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Team number 2, same question.
When I spoke in Samoan in the beginning, I made a quote, or I said a quote, "E le falala fua lau le niu e falala no le matangi." The leaves of the coconut tree do not sway by themselves, but they sway because of the wind. In a figurative sense, there is a reason why Pula and Pulu have decided to join the candidacy for governor and lieutenant governor this year. Wa iei le talitununga I lo talano atu I le tele o tangata o le tatou atunuu. Wa le fiafia. Ona iei leo le manatu whapei a tau. Ai se al me o le fiafia ai le tele o tangata. I la usavalia o afioanga whapea ia maota malao nuu ma ua mapulu I masina I o te atu. Longona ai la uloto le anganga o tele o tātou tangata. O la tau finangalo se suinga o le tātou malo. O le ala, o iei le manatu ia ma ua mapulu. Wa mafia o ngā I le tamwhainga le tātou atunuu le alualu I luma. E le tau le pua malafo au le anganga moni lava. O le alofa ma le anganga fia o ngā mo le atunuu. Awa a sui tātou taitai I le alualu I luma o le tātou malo. O se mea le leifo I lea le o se mea le anga. Au le anganga moni o le whaaloalo ma le alofa. O lo iei pea. Au le anganga fo I fia au ngā mo le atunuu. O lea ua whapeon sāwadi hai whaftai.
And team number 3.
What sets us apart? I se ame e se aima ua team. Vaitautolu and I have the experience, and it takes the experience to move the government forward to the right direction, where people will be given the opportunity with equality of services. The Vaitautolu and of Te team will bring positive changes to the community, as we are guided by the spirit of compassion, unity, integrity, and accountability. Vaitautolu and I will uphold, enforce, and respect the rule of law, because no one is above the law. Ma te muli I tu la fono o tu uina taita ina ai lo tātou atunu. We will provide the best money management experience that the government needs. Vaitautolu and I believe that women are essential and pivotal in building strong communities and societies. And this team has the good balance of equal opportunity for both men and women. They have the same rights and fair treatment. Therefore, this is the team that can bring unity as one people, one government. Work together as a team build this government as a community, as a team, as a family. These needs can be met if we stand together to make change. Vote for United for Change. Vai tautolu and taufte. After.
Thank you. Question number 2. And I'm going to start with team number 2, the Pula Mpulu team. American Samoa continues to experience a population decline due to outmigration, particularly of young, educated individuals. What steps will you take to create job opportunities, improve quality of life, and reverse this trend to retain talent and strengthen the local workforce, including employment within our government?
Thank you for the good question. There is no doubt that we have brain drain. The question I would ask myself is, why are our people leaving the territory and going out to seek further success instead of staying here? This is what I would do with Pulu. The government should not be in the business of creating jobs. The government, to me, should be in the business of investing into our private sector. Right now, American Samoa is like an improper fraction. We have a large government on top, and we have a small private sector in the bottom. In any state or any territory, in order to move forward, you have to increase your private sector because it enlarges the tax base. And what I'm saying is, we, the government of American Samoa, should invest in our small businesses, private sector, because they are the ones that are going to hire the people. Now, if we turn it upside down, what can we do here on island that we can increase this private sector by the government investing in it? Some of the things we can do is to provide a plan that we can move forward. We would be able to create trade, not just with Samoa, but among the other independent islands in the Pacific. And this is the way for us to trade and to move forward. And lastly, we can bring the help of the federal government to help with our workforce to increase this trade, and we can move forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Team number 3.
The Faftaila Vaitotolu and Tafte, in order for us to decline the 2 outmigrations in our population here in the territory, we have to create and revitalize our economy. They are considering the 2 economic base that we have, which is the government and the canneries. Those are not enough economic base to provide the jobs that is necessary to keep our talent people here on island. So our leadership, we are pledged to develop the economy, to work together with the small business community and the private sectors to improve our economy and diversify it to create more jobs for our territories. And that will be the only way for us to keep and maintain the people, the talents here on islands. We cannot depend on the government alone, and we cannot depend on the canneries, and as those are the only 2 economic base that we have now. Also, we have to look into our education system. We have to integrate that training within our education system in order to provide the skill and the experience to our workers. And then it also, at the same time, the government has to provide and has to be in the forefront to develop our economy, to provide the job necessary for the people to continue to stay here in our territory. Thank you.
Thank you. Team number 1.
I guess no rebuttal from the last question? No. Lisi lale me tupu o le malamalama I le whainga malo ma le tunu. E le pēr whamtalatu. E tele na yo inga al malo na whai e promote ai pisinisi laiti. Mo pisinisi tele. Au whai pisinisi umai tono mo tanei mo tua le tunu. Na tau silfia. Au le lava o ngā luenga e whai e au whai pisinisi. O le mea nai mana o mia le fsosoani al malo. E tau whai ai I a ngā lua se isi o ainga. Ia iai se tamau ainga mo ainga. E leo tango lima I fuafuanga o soifuanga. So, no mai fo ma ue tonu le la umar whatau sanga. Mar wha moe mo tele le malo. Umar matau sanga mo muaru longa lua o mamala malama. Wa iloa silofia le malu al whainga malo. Fiu e tau whai pisinisi. E ma whai. Ane le si ia nei fo I to tongi o le whainga malo e le si ia tonga pisinisi. Na whinau ma pisinisi whai mai au le si ia tonga. E le whaatali en malo. Le anga o soifuanga e alu iluma. A o tūlanga o me umai e tala no e tātou. Ia, e leo nofo le whainga malo. Ngā lua le whainga malo e ofo ia onga. Marisia trans e se le whaitau o tātou le atunu. O le mea le whai I so sau ngā tupulanga. E ofo ia mātou, e ofo I sunga I sui tau wā. Uma le school e oi fafo. E oi fafo. Tātou umi e sa whai mai le atunu atoa. E oi fafo e su el poto, su el tamau ainga. Ai toi o mai. Toi o mai. O lo whaitau tātou.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just to clarify a question, due to time constraints, there is no opportunity for rebuttal, but that was a good question, and I wanted to clarify that. Thank you. Sorry. Oh, and before we continue to question number 3, I know that people are very excited and are here to support their candidates, but we just ask if you can to hold your applause. We do understand the enthusiasm, but we hope that you can understand that it's necessary due to time to withhold the applause. Third question, and we're going to be starting this one with team number 3. In your current or most recent position in public service, what was your biggest work-related mistake or regret? And how do you hope to avoid repeating it in the future?
Well, I'm right now I'm unemployed. So the recent job I had was the director of the retirement fund for the American Samoa Employee Retirement Fund. So to be honest with the questions, I don't really have any biggest work-related mistake or regret that I have now. So I cannot really elaborate on that unless my partner has one experience in the last job she has.
Ia, o la unga luenga taluai sa director o le ofisa o le Arts Council. Ia, o lefa my recent position lea o tele masaro la related mistake o tele o mamalama le iai o na ua whaamalolo au o terminate au without the process, due process. So masalo le mea le na, I was relieved from my duty without due process, and and I don't know, and I have nothing against it, and I would just take it slowly and adjust to it.
Thank you very much. We can turn now to team number 1. Same question.
Do you want both of us to answer this or just one?
I can clarify there's 2 minutes per team. You can divide it up however you wish, but you collectively cannot go over 2 minutes.
Thank you for the question. Nobody up here, Governor Manu'a and myself, are not angels. We're not Jesus Christ. So sure, I'm sure there are things that, because we're not perfect servants, but we are servants of American Samoa. And every day, when we wake up and go to that office, we are proud of the fact that American Samoa elected us into office 4 years ago. And we know that every day we come to work, we have to prove to the people of American Samoa our worth and that their decision was right. So, to be honest with you, the work that we have done, the results of the projects that we have done for the people of American Samoa speak for themselves. And I guess that is one of the things that set us apart from our fellow candidates here. Because what you will hear from them today is what they will do, what they think they will do. But what Manu'a and I will talk about today are things that we have done, like the road to Poloa that has been neglected for so many years, the roads in Whangasa, all of the roads that Afono, all of the projects that we have done, the 200 plus pounds of meth that were confiscated under Governor Manu'a's leadership, enforcing all of these things. So when you ask about work-related mistakes or regrets, I can tell you I have no regrets. Governor Manu'a and I have no regrets for the work that we have done for American Samoa, and that's why we're here to do it again. Thank you.
Thank you. Team number 2.
In my recent position, I was the director of the Office of Insular Affairs in the Department of the Interior in Washington, D.C. I don't have any regrets or mistake, but I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to be at the job where I was at, where I was able to see a budget that goes out to all the U.S. territory, including the freely associated states under the United States. I am very glad that Lieutenant Governor have established a truth today, that he and Manu'a are not Jesus Christ or angels, because none of us are. I know Vaitotolu and Mary worked in the ASG or the American Samoa government for many years now, and they don't have any regrets. So I want to spice this conversation or this forum up a little bit. There is a reason why Pulu and I are running. We are running because it's been said, and I don't have to announce it to everybody. It's been written in the news, it's been all around in the islands. The people of Tutuila and Manu'a, not all of them, but many of them are unhappy. So I just want to say, Pulu and I are in this race because we really care. We are not in this race to make money. We're not. We are in this race to provide a future, to make decisions that are tough and strong so that corruption no longer becomes an issue in the current government.
I'm sorry, your time is up. Thank you. For the next question, we're back to team number 1. I'll pose this to you. The territory is facing a methamphetamine epidemic. What specific proposals for prevention and treatment or rehabilitation do you have to combat this public health crisis?
Again, this is the difference of the conversation we will have today, because what I'm going to tell you is the stuff that we have done, and what you will hear from our fellow candidates is what they plan to do, but untested. So in 2022, Governor Manu'a set up the Substance Abuse or Comprehensive Substance Abuse Council, which I have been honored to chair. The work of this council focuses on three main areas: law enforcement, education, and rehabilitation. As I mentioned a little bit ago, between November 2023 and today, law enforcement agencies of American Samoa have confiscated over 200 pounds of methamphetamine that would have been around in our streets now, but for the work of our brave men and women, the police, customs, and Homeland Security. Police Department has reported a continual drop in terms of drug-related arrests. In the area of rehabilitation, I'm proud of the work that the council has done, working with the private sector, Foiolitini, Tautua, EPIC, Back on Track, all of these private agencies and government working together to reach out and rehabilitate the people of American Samoa. There's way more to be done for sure. In the area of education, DIWA is opening its centers to provide an area, safe place for our children and our people to be. So that's the work that we have done. The results are coming. There is still more to do, but the commitment is there, and we plan to do more should we be elected again for the next 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Team number 2.
I went out walking about 2 in the morning, and I saw people walking around, young people, young adults, at that time, just looking for something to do. There is a problem already in the islands. Let's not sweep it under the rug. What are we doing? Drugs is a poisonous thing to our people. I thank you. I give gratitude to all the hardworking people in law enforcement and the programs like the Lieutenant Governor mentioned in what they've been doing. But I tell you this, if we don't stop, improve our air and our ports in stopping drugs coming in, we're not going to fix this problem. I also hear that there are alias, boats that goes around in midnight hours, deliver drugs in other areas. So what can we do? This is the first thing I will do. We were going to look for funding to have a rehabilitation center to help people who are already in drugs. Secondly, I went and visited the jail. People come in and out. I was very surprised when people go out in jail and we don't let the public know that some of these dangerous people who are druggies are out in the business. It's not safe. It's not safe for our community. Therefore, Pulu and I, not only building a rehab center to help our children, these are our children, our people, but we're going to work in a comprehensive manner with all the villages, all the churches to take care and make sure that this drug problem will be done away in 2 or so years. Thank you.
Thank you. Team number 3.
I'm going to focus on the question because the question is specifically proposed on prevention, treatment, and rehabilitations. But before I get to that, I want to say something about the drug problem here on island. it's, it's interesting to hear that there are programs already established here on island to combat these problems. Manu'a, I would like to see the data. And I can't, Tafte and I cannot find any data that would shows the success of any program that is being implemented now. And the problems continue on to prevail. So on the treatment and rehabilitations, Tafte and I will commit to build and establish and develop a treatment center in American Samoa. We have a mental health center and clinic that's already built in the last administration before this administration's, right next to the hospital. That needs to be in place and needs to, the programs and the treatments, and then also mental health treatments should be implemented within that building. It's not used. It's not fully used for its purpose. The drug problems is no longer an isolated problems in the territory. It's becoming a problems that we expect, and we're going to create and develop a comprehensive plan that brings the whole community together, all the way from the family, the village, the church, for us to come together that we can approach and come up with ways to resolve the problems, the drug problems here on island. Because right now, I don't know exactly what the existing programs that we have are doing
Thank you.
now.
Your time,
Thank
your
you.
time is up. Thank you. I'm going to start with the Pula and Pulu team. How would you ensure that your selected cabinet members are the most qualified for their respective appointments?
Thank you. Good question. The first leg of Pulu and my administration is honest governance. So the question is, if we're going to hire cabinet members, all cabinet members' positions are going to be advertised. None will be appointed politically. Everyone in American Samoa or Samoans outside who wants to come and apply for cabinet positions, we will put it out in the application. And we will have a panel that goes through and review, and the best qualified person will serve as the cabinet member. And we want these people to be not only qualified, not only intelligent and expert in whatever field or department. We want these folks to have leadership qualities that they will be able to move up their respective departments so our departments can serve our community in a very respectful and caring way. You know, it's interesting that the federal government provides a lot of funding to our government. And our people would come up to some of the offices, not every office. I'm not bad-mouthing our people who work in the government. But there are times when you go to the hospital and you have to wait 5 hours for an appointment to go in, especially if you're an elderly person. To me, that is beyond understanding. So, to answer your question, everybody who wants to be a director of any of these will have to apply for it, and they should be qualified. Thank you.
Thank you. Team number 3.
It's for me. O le whiwhilinga o le kabineta pe awha pea e tusi a aole atu no o ile nei e le ia waitautolu matawhite. O le whaapitoa le whiwhilinga o le kabineta i tangata o lo sapsapaia waitautolu matawhite. O mea moni mal whamaoni we pledge that we're going to advertise the positions, and we We're going to do a very strict vetting of the backgrounds of the candidates that applies and qualifications for the appointment to the cabinet members. We want to make sure that the experience are related to what is required of the positions and the education and also the working experience. And also we want to make sure that they will stay and have a commitment to stay here on island and serve the government and the people of American Samoa. So, and we pledge that we will advertise the positions and we will make the appointment based on the qualified candidates for the positions, related qualifications for the positions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nature of the politics in Samoa. There are positions that has to be politically appointed, and that's the honest truth. But I'll tell you, in our administration, ile ma nofo inga ma le fionga ko vana lutena. Na va ai lava le anga va I tūlanga uma. O a onga, o tūlanga o ngā ruenga, ma le anga va o tangata whai ngā ruenga se tūlo. Pau foi lea le nofo inga e luatu I tua le sa whai inga whatonu. E le na o ta malo loa. A tau sila le le sa whai inga whatonu le administration lea. To tele o na tina ia mana I tene o lo I tono tanga lue. A tangata nga wa uma. Tangata wei uma ia onga, tangata wa se tulo lava le upu, o tangata wa whainga luenga mō mua ia Meruki Samoa. O iei o lato nga wa. O le tala le whai mai e look across the board ia Meruki Samoa. O tau tino atu, o le pepelo I o le natala. Tu langa al porkiki, au o le pelo e tātou le tunu. O le whaonga, le la watu le whaonga. A iei sisi I a vai toitolu po pula e ielang PA. A iei sisi I a maua I ele PA, tusanga wa. Ia, se kau mai lai o koupo e piki pia kovana pula, pe kovana foi vai tautolu. E piti tangata le na sapai alo na wha moi moi. Ngā kia ni te valea se tuloa o le alu piki ia maua e le piki le si whaenga lea. O le upumoni, ma le wha maoni. E pepelo tala na mawai mai loa, silofia whatau sanga, o le nofo inga lelei, le ese ma whatonu, e loe ma uele o anga waa I tūlanga o ngā luenga o tofiai, whaftai.
Thank you. I'm just going to remind everybody again to withhold your applause until the end of the forum. Thank you. We're going to start this one with team number 3. What are your 2 key objectives to address the high percentage of K-5 through 12th grade students not performing at grade level?
Education is one of the most important thing in our on our platform, and improving the education system in our territory, it is a must. And the question is, what are your 2 objectives to address? The first objective that is really is important to us, I think that we need to implement an after-school programs for the students, especially for those who cannot meet the performance and the grade levels that requires for and implementing a program for the after-school program that will commit the education department to implement the program that will the teachers to work overtimes, and also those overtimes will be paid by the Department of Education, and for any kids who drops below the level that requires of the students must attend those after-school program. That is one thing that we have to, we pledge to do. The other one is to have the parents really be robust in our efforts to bring the parents together and work with the students and our school system in order to improve and then also develop programs that will help our students to perform better in school. But after school program is something that it's really a must for us to develop and institute in our education system to assist the students that are not up to par with their grades. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Team number 1.
Ina ua amata le no foinga. O le tā ua le o a onga al whanau. Iai ma ua ma le whionga al kovana lutena. O le mta upu mua na tamu whai o le si o tutongi o whai a onga. Ona e mana ona nofo whai a onga wa i umai a onga. Wha whai a onga i tutonu o potu a onga. Le anga o le mea o tau maua o tau o ese ia ki te rima o lunga. E su e ngā luenga isi vaenga o le malo e te tele o lato tongu. O le matanga luenga o aonga na mua lava si whaisi itanga. Ai le isi ia ato le whai ngā malo ato le tāua. Tāua tele o aonga al whanau ia i maua. Ioe o lo whai pele lu tau i le whionga al whatonsili ma le matanga luenga. I tūlanga o le whanau aonga. A mata mai lalo le kei whai whetau lunga le sfu ma le lua. Ia lui tau le whanau tuu le ilalo le lavo le kei whaiwhia tūlanga. Ia uma mai le lava enga o malamalama i tūlanga o le whaitau, malamalama i tūlanga o le numera. Ia e tamu whaifo e tamu whai e whai ala tō tutoring. Ia fiafi pia uma ia onga. Ia ma tūlanga whapena. O le mea nā i tūlanga whai o whai a onga, nau tau silfia, ua wae o na whaifale a onga uma lava o Amerika Samoa. Le lai tau wha uma isi whale a onga alo tau whai lava. Whai ni ngā luenga e sapore ia tūlanga o a onga, ma whai a onga. Le lei ei ma whai al wha mautu a la tau ngā luenga. Tele ngā luenga wha pēnā e wha mautu. Ia lea lau ta oto nei sunga i whai a onga, ia ma tūlanga uma ia tau whai ei. Ia le lei lea o a oina o whanau i to tonu o potu a onga. Si ti eilo la tau malamalama. Ai le io atu lunga le high school, ia e mesel kolisi tu whatasi, whaftai.
Thank you.
O le mataupu leo o ngā tātou whanau. This is a very important and dear issue to me because my father, Pula Nicolau, was the first Samoan Director of Education with only an 8th grade education. And I remember the education that we have now is great compared to those days. But I can tell you, why do we have a workforce? O lea mea nei tātou tangata whainga luenga e tō tele e o mai whafo, mai isi atu nuu. Au whea i e tātou tangata, tātou whanau. O le tūlanga leo le Sicily, o le au mai lunga o le level of education. E mana o nia lava, mai tā ua. This is very important to Pulu and I. Pulu and I want to have every child. You know, when we were in Manu'a, campaigning in Manu'a a few months ago, in one of the school background in Fitiuta, it says, it takes a village. E te tonu fo ila ma umpulu. Ele na o whaia onga, ta maitia onga. O tangata umo lava, o mātua, o e kālesia o a onga whaiwhi au. Tātou umo lava e taun tātou soswane, i alu level education lunga. Wa ale ai, e o mai a tangata mai whafo awenga luenga, ai le whainga luenga tātou whanau langa i le o lava le level of education. Matua mana o mia lava. So Pulu and I will dedicate a lot of funding for the education.
Thank you.
Whaftai.
Time is up. Thank you. We're back to starting with team number 1. Question number 7. There is a history of problems with our drinking water. What would you do to ensure that water is safe for the public living in all areas of our territory?
Ole tūlanga le vai tau mawha le atunu. E le fau. O le tūlanga la e whai nei e le whai ngā malo ia mau pele vai e tau mawha e le atunu. O a whaina tātou le climate change. A le upumoni. O le sea rise le wasau i lunga. Ai mana tua tātou vai e eli mai lalo. O vai e eli mai lalo masalo pe toi lua tolu toi fia tausanga. O le mwhaino na tātou eli mai le vai sua mai le vai mai lalo palpala. Ona o le tūlanga nā. O lo iai suinga e whata oto e le vaianga laspa. Le whainga malo. Sa ili na isi a wala e tau mwhai ai. Ia maua pele sua vai. O lo tau sa ili lunga. O lo tau mwhai a tātou projects ia whamama ia whaini paipa fau. Whata oto ai le ala vai inu uma. Ona o paipa lai whai e le tātou ana lai whai e nei le whaalue tātou vai inu uma whianga. Paipa mai lava li whai sina leva. Msalo temi o le taua lai e ta oto ai ate lo paipa. E le whai ngofie. Leo a mata no wawa ai tu ai ngā tuai fo le na whai tātou ia so anu mua. Ia so tuanai. O whai o whata noa. Tali le vai le timu. Whai whata noa. Whai reservoirs. O na whaasaua leo tātou vai. Leo to titi uma po o uma fo i le whale fo o le espolo o whai malai. O le whale na e whaamamai le vai. Whaasaua le vai e tau mawhai leo tunu. Ia e le to e tunua whaavela pe boil water. Pe o notice le whai so. O lo o ngā lua le whai ngā malo. Ai e le whai ngofie. Pe o na tala no atu. E eina ia whai inga e mana o mi o na whai. Ia e le whaatūlanga ina. Ia tūlanga o le vai. O le suenga nā o tūlanga o le vai. Pe o na tala no atu. A whaina tātou fuafua.
Thank you. That's time. The Pula and Pulu team, your question.
The water, o le vai, e whanonga pēle le tio o whaile announcement. Mata mai ta funa se o mai inisi i tātou awhioanga. E tonu le vai, e lo sefe le vai. O a voi, te mea o whainga luenga i le ofisa o le vaenga o le intelia. E tele lava fo i vaenga tupe ma tūlanga e mai e Soswani. I le vaenga le a espa. A ua whaila fo sina o whanau noa. I nei tau sanga i tele. Leo to e fo i mai. O taunga tā lava le tau le vai. O taunga tā fo i le tau e le tise. A o fia nei tau sanga o tele i ngai ui ngai whai. O tele o lama tele la, a whai o la a Manu'a ma umapuru. Ia o mei e tauna siaki mo mua. A o le talisa o le tūlanga o le vai le pe on sau noa le whionga al kovana. O te talitonu fōi e pe ona ia whai atu. E le o se mea whai ngofie. A o le nganga i a pula mapuru. A whai e Manu'a. O le amtua i sa ili le lei. Le tūlanga ina wha le lei ai le vai. I le tūlanga o iai. O le isi foi mea. A ona timu le mea. Uma toa lolo vaia uma awala. Ia no whalongolongo foi le hearing failed Senate. Whapea. O tele foi le tamau ainga tupe mai a alu le vaenga le Public Works. Whapea foi malisi vaenga o le malo. Ai lai lava o mea ane na tutupu le tele o tausanga. O le nganga moni la ma umpuru. Se sa ili tanga waa. O tātou atu nuu bo mai fafu. Se Soswani e whaini tūlanga vai ina ia Manu'a.
Thank you. That's time. Team number 3.
Tolu e fasili ai le tio ai. Pe ai le tato whainga malo e fasili. Wā mai rao, wā mai au o ngā le atunu. Wā mai le public safety o le atunu, saonga le mu. Wā mai le public health. Those are the 3 questions. Wā mai, how's the health care? How's the education? And how's the public safety of the people? O le health care. Tātou wawa ai le whamai drinking problem lea. Na tunu mai awai vela I whātau sanga nei, le ai o mene le tunu vai vela. Le alame le whai ai. We don't know. We don't have the data. But what vai tau tolu and of te will do? E mate tamwhai ina ia a mai tupe. A mai tupe whanga sa o tupe ale atunu. E mea e te tau ona whaongai, no le soifua malolo ina, tangata me mo mua le na, ia soifua malolo ina le atunu. A whaina le vaitau mawha le atunu, o le e soifua malolo ina le malo atoa. O le mea tāu o le mea le na. Vaitau tolu matawhte o le maa ngā luenga lea, o le matawha ioi tonu lea ale whainga malo sa ili. O la ia Itali. There is every solution for every problem. Sa ili. Paul mea tātou whai o sa ili. O le au mai tātou tupe o tātou atunu, whao ngā sa o tupe o tātou atunu, whalawe lawi. If there's no management, me tau tupe, whainga tāna wha wau tu ia fuafuanga uma, wha tino ina ia soifua manuia le tātou atunu. Ia tausi le soifua le atunu, ina ia aua o nei a whaina. Aua a whaina tātou vai, a whaina le malo atoa, ma le atunu atoa. Whaftai.
Thank you. We're going to start with team number 2. Do you have any plans to strengthen the sustainable development of our food system so that we are not over-reliant on imports of foodstuffs via container shipping?
Whaftai, o le tūlanga o le sili o ania tātou sauninga o le awhaia ina ia awane ia tātou whatutua tele I mea tau mawha mai whafo, mai container. E ele tantununga pula ma pulu. O le tūlanga o tātou tau mawha. For example, farming. E o foi I mea ia tūlanga fisheries, small fisheries. O mea ia tātou vaenga o tātou environment. E whaingo fie. E levela si anganga whapea, tauntu e whamalusia. Ia tātou mea tau mawha, e ola lava I nei tātou atunu. I may say, I would like to see a farmer, increase the production of food for our people. At the same time, I would like to see a young college graduate develop his or her own business with the modern technology that we now have. But it comes to food security. I know some folks try to mai fua mo mai isingu, pe fai fuing pa povi oi isingu. Al maybe go siling kaulia. E tau lawang tātou, tau mawhai tātou I whaolola le tātou tau mafa, food security, ina ia manaia le alwalu luma o tātou tau mwhainga. Because if we have our own products, with our own eggs over here, with our own food, our own people, that will develop small businesses and folks will be able to increase our production and not depend.
Thank you very
too
much.
far.
That's time. Team number 3.
Whaftai, o le whafsiringia e le suita wane, taluai ona sa whaatala noina manisi o le au whai whaatoanga I te tonu o le tātou o tino. O leo lo iei ia plan, o leo lo wawa iei, o le tau mawhai e wha a ti iei o na wha o laolao o na tinae ia whaatoanga I tonu o le tātou o tino. A wau le mea moni o whaatoanga, o le mea le nā o proklame ina ia whaaleinga whaatoanga I tonu o le atunu. Paulina o le mea ia e mawhai ei o na whaititi ia le amainga o tātou mea tau mawha mai I atunu umao. O proklame ia o lo whaatatia nei ele sungai, ele current administration. Ua whieli solo a fo il mātou nuu I Manu'a. Ai le umautinoa le lei ma transparency ia le plan nei, e o a fo I le au whai whaatoanga, e le umautinoa e lātou. Nā leo lo o tau mawhai e whape, whai le pā moi o I Manu'a, whai le pā povi I Manu'a, ma le pā povi o I Upolu. Ai o mai nei, e le o I lo le lei e le atunu. There is no system put it in place and no plan put it in place. E wha tūlanga ai ma ngā lulue ma le au whai whaatoanga. A wā o le au whai whaatoanga umaia na tala no ai ma ua ma le sunga ia tawte. E le isi o sila fia ia tūlanga ia o lo fuafua ne. We pledge that to work with the local farmers and make sure ia mautu ma le lei se plan a wā le whainga o whaatoanga I te tonu o le tātou o tunu. Ina ia wha moe iai le soifua tau mawha o le atunu. Ina ia wha titi ai le amai o tātou mea tau mawha mai atunu umamau. And it will help us for food security in our territory.
That's time. Thank you. Team number 1.
During COVID, this issue became starkly clear, the inefficiencies that we had and the problems we face if we are not sufficiently prepared in this area of sustainable food development. And so since that time, this administration has been working to find different ideas and try different ways to develop American Samoa's ability to have food security. We have some unique problems. You know, we have only a certain amount of available land that is suitable for farming. Most of our people have moved away from farming. And so there's a lot that needs to be done. Yes, we've looked at developing farms, animal farms in Manu'a as a way to, deal with the food security. We've also worked closely and explore avenues of trade with our brothers and sisters in Samoa, exploring the trade of beef as well as eggs and other products. Nothing is off the table. We have to be thinking and doing and acting, try out. Not all of the things that we try are going to be successful, but that's why I enjoy working with Governor Limanu and our administration, because they're not shy or afraid to try new ideas. And that's what we offer and pledge to the people of American Samoa. Faftai.
Thank you very much. We're going to start now with team number 3. How do you plan to improve health care in the territory?
Do you want to? E le toi posa lila le pai o le atunu tūlanga o lo iai nei le tātou health care. Wa whaisi tele le wha le tono o lo iai le wha le maa I whangal. Ma o le mea manino na nā si le whanga le atunu. O le foi o le mea moni ia le foi o lo whalongolongo ai tūlanga o le tātou whainga malolo iai nei ma mea o lo fuafua e whai. Ia a leo lo fa le tonu wa le tato le tātou health care. Le fo ina whale tonu le funding o le Medicare program taluai ona ua leo ua whaangata inga ia le avenga o tātou mai whafo ia leo ua whaalonga atu leo ua pasi e tonu o le paketi, but it should never happen. It should never happen. O le improving o le health care e amata mai i le tātou public health, o le prevention. O le ale proclame, a comprehensive plan has to be put in place, start from the prevention in the public health. O le whanmai, o le isi lea mea e a fo i, o le mea muli lea e o mai i amata mai i le public health. And they have to ngā lulue whaatasi i a department ngai lua ina ia ai ale le whaleia o le tātou health care. O le mea leo lo iei nei, e whaingtai ona whai ato se manatu i tūlanga o lo iei nei le tātou health care. Langa o leo lo o le o loa le lei po whea o iei le health care, teimi nei, o le tātou whanmai, ia ele o manuia le mea leo o ne iei. Ia, a o leo o lo iei le vaenga o le it's separate out, the public health service is really separate out from the LPGA right now. But we need to bring that together and make it as one system so that the providing a quality health care for us.
Thank you. That's time. Thank you.
Whaftai le fsili, o le msalo la o amatatu le whanmai. I whangaalu le mautanga singasi, e silfia. Le malo le atunu o mautanga singase o vama leona se futau sanga. Ua whaisina lewa o le whale, ia e me se fōi o me uma o lo whaatino aile, ngā lue ngā fōmai. Ia ia tūlanga o lo whaafō, msalo le masina fōu e umaile surgery room in mautanga singase, ele o tia ia le mautanga singase. O eo o fōi tūlanga o le public health, e tau i silofia. O lo whapena na whaalelei fōi ia clinics, o lo iei nei a mata mai lawa i sifo e o isai, ia o lo fuafua fōi le clinics i au nuu. Ia o lo fuafua fōi clinics e koe whaafo clinics e lua, i ofu ma tau, e relocate i lunga le clinic i tau, ona ua le whaatanga ina le fima lalo ni mea o lo iei. Ia e whapena fōi le clinic i ofu, e whaatulanga au te longona. O le fsili e tau mawhawhan mai fō. O lo fōfua le nofo inga le fiuatu o ko vana lutena ma le nofo inga. E whail whan mai fō i tāwhuna. O le tūlanga leo lo o iei le tātou whan mai. Ma le Medicaid. Te le i o le vāia ngā tupan Medicaid e alu le avenga o tātou ngase ngase. I whafo i Hawaii. Te le ia. Al Medicaid i tausanga uma e ama le 25 miliona. Ai le mawhai e le whainga malo o na lava se le ni e whai e le matching funds. O le whanmai fōu, e address ai e mai e le o mawhai o na whai i le LPGA right now. So le tūlanga na e tau sefe mai ai nei o tātou tangata matua. Leo i whafo i Hawaii mai si mea, e taungata o le hotel, transportation, o le airfare. Ia a ofo i lau matua, e ave ni whanau, e tau sia la tau.
Thank you. That's time.
Thank you.
Team number 2.
How to improve healthcare in the territory. Tele nau whawhitauli ese i a tātou tangata nuu a me se fōi tam whainga le tātou malo. O le amatatu il whalmai. The Army Corps of Engineers did a 2019 study where it had several options. Building a new hospital costs a lot of money. It goes from 300 million all the way up to 900 million with the different options. Pulu and I have looked at this report, and we feel that we choose option C on this report, which says to build a new hospital, perhaps multi-layer, in a central place, ifang atu, in meleo ia i neil falmai. O le mātātou nunga la, A whai o la whai se whalmai I oi tā whuna pe o na saunoa le a whionga le kovana. I le lei, al whalawlawe al tupe. Even with the money we have now, we still have to look for further funds in order to build a new hospital. O le si mea, e sao fo I le saunoanga vai tautoro. O le public health. When we visited the homes of the people to tele o tangatu matutua tātou atunu, o le mawhai no mai I le whalmai. E tau fo no alu I ase singa pi o aso la sa whaia I ase singa fo ia a tene fo mai o public health I ala whanga manu. Ia o langona o le ato I sui.
Thank you very much. That's time. Turning now to team number 1. Governments play a critical role in developing strategies to address climate change. If you were elected, what policies should our government implement to mitigate the effects of climate change and protect communities from increasing natural disasters?
Governor Manu'a also, in this administration, established the Governor's Resilience Commission, again, and an office to go with it, which I'm honored, again, to chair. The Resilience Office is an effort to combine the resources of the government that deal in the area of climates, from the EPA to marine wildlife, and other agencies of the government to work together to coordinate efforts and look at the issue of the effects of climate change on American Samoa and how we can become more resilient to its effects. And there's no question that we see this happening, and I'm proud of the work that we have done to establish new legislation to ban certain products that cause significant harm to our environment. And we have worked together to find ways to strengthen and fortify our roads and our seawalls. As you know, most of our roads and utilities are on the seaside of the island. And these are impacted every time there's a king tide or other things like that. So the work of this commission deals not only with the impacts on the physical environment, but also on food security and those type of issues. And I think the coordination that we've had with the different agencies and the ability to access federal funding to move forward these initiatives has been helpful and good in determining our future.
Thank you.
In this area.
Thank you very much. That's
Thank you.
time.
Whenever we have a disaster like the tsunami in 2009, we believe that that really woke us all up, the importance of climate change. I think wa tilinga luenga o whai el tato malo, o te whaafitai mo whamalo fo ia I lato o whai suinga mai lava le tausanga I luma le iwa. Wa over ai fo I le tele o sea walls. Ai a Manu'a I le mātam whainga pupuru. E pe una sau no le sui kovana. O le ngai o inga whaatasi o fisa ese. O tato sila fia le lei. A tupu se disaster pe e o mai le vaenga al FEMA. E le ngata le o mai o le vaenga al FEMA. Ai o mai fo isi vaenga ese o le federal government. O maola mapuru. O le a whamalosia maua I le lei le mawhaia. Ma le vaenga le I California le Region 9. Wa nai tele ofisa ese o le malu tele Amerika. E ngā lue whaatasi ma ofisa tātou I nei el tātou malo. E pei ona whai nei e le tātou malo o te whaafitai e lātou maluenga I le tulanga. Ai a mata mai lava I oi, whangamalo I o lava fo I oi tula mo ni noa, wa ta milo I ei mo o vai. Ese le a matan si I mai lunga o tātou nuu e le ngata I le whai o tali ngalu. A o le taumwhai na ia atu ea whaina ni disaster whapea. O le leile ngakto ngaluenga, ma vaenga umaia, wa e tatonu. E le tele le tātou tamau a inga whao ngai mene I le puipuia fo le tātou environment. Ai le tātou ngā lue whatasi ma vaenga o le whetarari. O lea iai le mapoto ma masani I a tea au pia fast food tau sanga o whainga luenga Washington. E mwhai o ngā lue ina ai nei vaenga, ina I whatasi ngā lue ma le tātou malo.
Thank you very much. Team number 3.
A whamanua ina I Manu'a. O le ala ni mā me whai ina ia whaalele atiri ai le tūlanga o le climate change. Policies, o le mea mo mua. O Samoa, o le atunu ese ma le mātango fielona le lanu lau awa. O le atunu. Ai a tele na whaatama ia ele, ma la au ma me uma whapena o whanua o ainga ma me whapena. That's human disturbance. E whaititi ai fo I le au ngā o la au I le soifua maloloina o tangata. Climate change. We need to expand agroforestry. Tātou tutola au mo atai au. O le mele ei nei tātou sua atu I, sua I. That's a human disturbance. Whaaleanga ina ai a lau whanua. Whaaleanga ina ai mea tau tino o mea ia o au maia le atua. Tausi ai lo tātou soifua. Climate change. Tele peleo saunua si I le tūlanga o le ngātai whale. O a mea mwhaina whai e le vaenga a le tātou whainga mālo tawhte e ma, vai tau tolu ma tawhte e. We need to look into more funding. We need to look into more funding e mai support ai tūlanga o le tātou ngātai whale, support ai tūlanga o le vau matua, ina ia whaa tu mau na pēr le mātango fia o le tātou lauwhanua. Ia ai, tu ia mea o le whaaleanga ina o tātou mea tō tino, o mea ia a tātou atunu o whanua ma mea uma whapena o la au. Ia, o leisi nā mea mā te wawa ai tuto ai ai, o le wha o ngā ina, ia awane so o na whaia, ma ia awane I oso fua le ia tūlanga o le mālo, I wha mālo sia tūlanga o whanua o ainga.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to start this one with team number 2. What are your plans to address the ongoing transportation challenges going to and from Manu'a?
When candidate Pulu and I visited Manu'a recently, Pulu told the Manu'a people that he will personally make sure that transportation going to Manu'a is going to improve. That worries me because as governor, Pulu may decide to take most of our budget to use for Manu'a and not for many other issues that we need to do. However, what will we do? Well, right now, transportation is a big issue for all of us, not just to go to Manu'a. Not only coming from mainland and Hawaii here, Hawaiian Air by itself. This is what Pulu and I will do if we're successful. We're going to work with the new Alaska Airlines, which is joining with Hawaiian Air. We're going to take that opportunity to say to these folks in their new coming to Samoa, to kind of de-stress the situation between Hawaiian Air at the time and our government. And what we would also do is work with the folks in the administration the U.S. administration, FAA, and also the Department of Transportation, so that we can have some dealings on the cabotage issue, which it has to deal with transportation. But I can assure you, I'll try to maintain Pulu so he doesn't take all the budget for Manu'a transportation. Whaftai.
Thank you. Team number 3, go ahead.
Ole isi nei me tāua e le olo o whaititi ai le atina enga o le tātou motu i Manu'a. Ia me se swings ona o le transportations. O tūlanga i olo i nei, a whapea e wha manu ia ina ia vaitautolu ma tawhte. O le memo mua o le developing o le airline, local airline, e mawhai o na whea i le vāo Manu'a ma tutuila. E whaftai le tātou i fuafuanga o le maloto totasi, o le ua mawhai mai ai le vālele e whea i le vāle nei o Manu'a ma tutuila. A le memo ni, ia, o lai whea i lunga e whaangoi ia tātou i teimi umai alwai le vālea. In order for us to a consistent transportation, we have to develop le avo e fesosani le malo ina ia fatuina se airline i tutonu o Amerika Samoa mawhai ai ona whea i le vāo tutuila ma Manu'a. So we don't have to ask the Department of Transportation for a waiver on the cabotage law. O va'a, we have to consistently alu va'a i Manu'a on every week. O le isi le nei mea o lo whawhaing tātele, especially take it from a person who grew up and lived in Manu'a and was born in Manu'a. It's me. O tūlanga ia o le isi le nei whawhi taule o lo whaingai nei ma le tātou motu i Manu'a. Ona o le motu sia o vea o loa o i Manu'a. O le isi le nei mea ele wa te tau ele inconsistent ia va'a e alu i Manu'a on a weekly basis. O le mea nā o tele o isi taimi, ia o le eini mea I whale o loa talwai ona ele o alu. It is the government responsibility to make sure that that transportation is consistent.
Thank you,
for
that's
the people
time.
of Manu'a.
Thank you very much. Team number 1.
Salo le isi lea vaenga tele o le no foinga le fio te ulko vana lutena malu whainga malo. Ina ua sa whai no foinga ia o le tūlanga mawha foilea e vālele ma waa mō Manu'a. Si le fia foile malu le tanu o le Manu'a tele ia na au mai lalo le whionga kovana ia lono. Ai mā te whaaftai ma ua I le vaenga pisinisi tua. Ia pēnau tō silfia ua iei le pango wings. Salo tō titi o na lele leo le pango wings e tongi pasese ma tūlanga umawhapenga. Tō silfia o lo iei ia vaa lalo o le vaa le compania Silva. Ia ma le vaa fuel compania Paramount. So o le whewa inga o vaa whapena I le anga I Manu'a ma tō fo I mai. I lalo le launga uta ma me whapena o lo tau tō lei. A le tūlanga o le vaa lele ia nau tō silfia o langa o le company mai whafo I Samoa. A mautu fuafuanga whaftai a ui e le pisinisi. O le upomoni an tau whai fo e whainga malo le vaa lele. Tō silfia senga ula le lalo le whionga le kovana ia tongi ola. Ia o le senga ula. Nai tō silfia le mautupu e le I le mawhai na whaauau le tūlanga na. A lewa o mai le vaenga private sector. Tā mawhai le tūlanga. O le tātou whaotainga whe malanga ina I Hawaii. Ia lo o whai le whatatanoanga ma le Hawaiian Air. Ma le Alaska Air. E whamautu se isi vaalele I a tolu wai flights mo Amerika Samoa I le vai aso e tasi. Teimi lata mai ia o na tātou I loa lea o le natali o le nā fuafuanga ia tal si ia whamanuia tam whainga le whionga ko van lutena ma le whainga malo. O asi o tātou tenu.
Thank you. Starting now with team number 3. And just to let you all know, it's been a long night. This is going to be the last question before we go into closing arguments. So, team number 3. Can American Samoa afford to end its unorganized and unincorporated political status quo? Explain and elaborate your answer.
If I've taken Olisi le nei mataupu o lo ele se mataupu fo le nei mataupu o le mataupu le na sa ilia I fo in tau fai and put together le is a team mo is team wo vai in a ia suesuels le po fair o iai le me te tau ona ta oto iai le fin ngalo le atunu. Should we move away on our political status and move away from unorganized and or an unincorporated political status from the United States, but or stay at the status quo. Ole o waitau tolu matafte, ole mataupu nei, ole mataupu nei e te tau ona tuu I luma o le atunu, ma ole mataupu lea e te tau iai ona fai le fina ngalo le atunu, ma e sapsapaia e waitau tolu ma tafte e le fina ngalo o le atunu. Au le facility le, are we ready for it? You know, unorganized and unincorporated territory. Ile mea leo lo iai nei tātou. Ya, o leo lo o mawhai a o na tātou o nina ia tātou whangua. Ya, e mai se fo ia le tātou anganu. O leo lo o iai tutonu le anganu I le whainga o le tātou malo. O isi nei mea sina le malo ale atunu o e tātou te whae tete iai. A wā a whapea e sui ia le whainga malo ma a America Samoa. Ia, o le popole angana ia I Manu'a. Ia nei te ua a vea ma mea e ave se ai ia mea sina le atunu e tua iai le tātou atunu ma ainga. O Manu'a la o waitau tolu matawte e sapsapaia I le mea e fina ngalo iai le atunu. Ma o nei mataupu, le se mataupu e whaia e se kovana, whaito tasi e se kovana, ma se lutena kovana se whai unga.
Thank you. That's
Ba, tai.
time. Team number 1.
Whaftai mo le Sili, o le tūlanga I le unincorporated, o teritori umalavo Amerika, e unincorporated. E incorporated lo tātou, lo ingo wa stete tātou. So o te loa e whaisina whaingatau na tūlanga. A tūlanga o le unorganized. O le te tori le I le iaise tūla fono whaavai ua saunia I le malo tele po le konkeresi. Ia o tātou la na o tātou al te tori I le iaile mele o le Organic Act. Ai o te tali tonu. O le a lava le tūlanga e a ngā iai le sao Amerika Samoa. O le finangalo e te tau na whaalia I ona tangata. O le mea lea e fia ai lava lo nganga I le tauwhainga nei whainga malo. Ona e leo tali tonunga e leo ngā wenga lea le malo e whaile whai unga. Ai tuu lewa noa I tangata anu o Amerika Samoa. E whai ai la tō ma tala noa ina nemta. Pei on tātou whai ai le temi o le whaavai. Constitutional Convention lea sa tātou whai ai le lua awhi rusu ma tolu. Rusu ma lua. Lua awhi rusu ma le lua. Ma nei ai o le whaasoa le nāna na maua ai. Tala noa ina ai ma tā upu ese. Le nganga nā o le whiunga ko vana ma lo tangata. Whatever issues that we have in terms of our political status, and where we want to end up as a people, as a free people. I think it's an issue that should be discussed openly. The government's job is to provide the platform, not the answer. The answer comes from you, the people of American Samoa, and I'd be honored to continue that conversation and work with all of American Samoa, because I think it's due. It's time for us to discuss these issues and come to a solution.
Thank you. Pula.
I agree with both answers, candidates. we should leave the discussion of political status to the people. As mentioned in Samoan by Lieutenant Governor, all U.S. territories are unincorporated. That's because the full Constitution of the United States do not apply to these territories, only partial. The reason why Guam and Virgin Islands are not called unorganized is because they have organic acts in Congress, passed by Congress. That's why we are the only territory it's called unorganized, because we don't have an organic act. But should the people decide, we also are basically an organic act is like the Constitution. We already have a Constitution. Our Constitution basically is approved by the Secretary of Interior from 1966 on to now. We have had a few conventions but at the same time, umalava whaia amendments. Ngā aru fwela i le official interior, pe aru fo i le Congress. E le umautu li lei tūlanga o le iei tātou, e ilo taltununga o taltunu mama tūtū i mātou teams nei. O le mea lea tu atu I lumo le atunu, e whilwhilia le atunu. Ia, whaafatai lava.
Thank you very much. We are now going to move into the team's closing statements. This time we're going to go in reverse order, starting with team number 3, then team number 2, and then team number 1. Each team has a total of 2 minutes. Team number 3.
E watu le nganga whaftai le nei a whiawhi o na o le whātasinga le paia o le awhia le nei a whiawhi le toe o se tala le paia ma le mamalu o le tātou o tunu a o le nganga whaftai le tāpua inga le tātou o tunu e tupu mai ia ai mai se foi le paia o ainga ai le ave se ai le paia o le au whainga luenga te tofi le tua I la au tau tāpua inga. Ona o le nei wha moe moe, ia ua whetu wha iai ni manatu au ni whina ngalo foi, o sui tau wā, ia a wā le wha moe moe o le atunu I lana sa I linga tofi. Me le eva tuai le nganga whaftai. I would like to thank the American Samoa Bar Associations for hosting this event. And also I'd like to thank my esteemed competitors or opponent, my brothers, for participating. While each of us believe that our visions is best for the future of our people, I am happy that we can discuss our differences in a respectful and a civil way this afternoon. It is important for us to acknowledge that we live in a times that fills with change, and we need change. Change is inevitable. If we resist it, we will be like the tree that is uprooted in a cyclone because it is too rigid to adapt. We must embrace the winds of change that allows us to spread our wings.
Thank you. That is time.
These are the closing remarks. I haven't said to the people to vote for Vaitautolu and Tafte.
All right, fair enough. Is there anything else quickly that you would like to add in since I so abruptly cut you off? Go ahead.
Vote for Vaitautolu and Tafte.
Thank you. Team number 2.
Ave e lau leo ma fafonga tau moli fo ia e lau nei tangata whatau waa whape fo I ma le fionga le matua I a pulu. A watu i whaftai tele ma le whamalo I le au fia o whatasi ma le nea fiafi. Ai me se fo I o tatou ainga o wō me masani o lo whape fo I whafonga mai televise. A watu fo I whaftai le vaenga a le Bar Association for giving us an opportunity to share our thoughts and our opinions, how to guide our territory moving forward in the next 4 years. I want to say I give a lot of thanks to all the families in the different villages that we have visited, Pulu and I, throughout the past several months. The heartfelt feeling of ole alofa, ma le fia o ngā, fia tautua, ina ia manuia tātou tangata anu. O le te mō nei o tau mwhai nei tau vanga. O nei mea o porokiki, ia, e whai umafo, au tātou ainga. Wō, mātou fo ma le kovana, ma le sui kovana, wha pe fo I le sunga vai a tau tolum tau te, pe on sau noa le kovana le amtanga. Ia, o mātou o uso, tu whawhine. Ia le watu il whaftai tele. I want to take this opportunity to express gratitude to all who have participated tonight in listening to us as we share and as we look forward in guiding our territory in the next 4 years. I have 10 seconds left, so I say vote for PNP. Pula and Pulu, whaftai tele.
O le maanganga whaftai fo I le nei afiafi I le malu fo I o le asosia a loia ia I le sunga al pristeni ia e mese tō tino le asosi whaftai fo I le sunga al whawhiangainga fui mono ia e mese le pa ia ma le mamalu o le aufia ia o le malu atu fo I o sui tau wā ia ma te whaftai a fo I le tātou whaasoa o le nei afiafi. O le upumoni le mamalu o le aufia ia e mese le sio tātou atunu whaafonga. O le sesenga o masalo ese le maua vaai I le tautua o le ofisa. O te le loa pe tu sa uma mātou. Au maua ma le awhionga al kovana lutena. Ua ma ofo ma ue whaile ngā ruenga o le sapaia o le otanu. I le maua vaai I le anga I luma. Pe tōli maua tu la fono, pe ua ai tā lafu maua I tūlanga o le se leni, ai a moa I se manuia o le atunu, o le maofona, ua tu mai atoa lo maloto ma o manganga, e tautua o le atunu. Pe loka o le whalpuipui ona ua whaongai au, te loa nai tau te mawhauwhau lawa le tolu ono miliona le pisai so tātou. E leo nā tia le fueta ua liali mai tātou whasoa nei. Ai a loka au ona o le whaanganga tolu miliona ai le I whaia tūlanga o tūlafono. Ai na manuia I le atunu, ia te au, o la mātou tua nai le atunu. Po le a fo I le a whaina o mā ua I tūlanga o le ngā ruenga, ona o le tūlafono, po ani si tūlanga, ia mā ua, a manuia I le atunu, o whaile mā ngā ruenga. Ia, o sia mā whamtalanga nai nea fiafi le malo leo fia. Finish it. Malo leo fia, meise le atunu whaafonga. Ia, mā tarsanga atu I lo tau paia, ia pāloka mo Ellen L. Ia wale lumanai manuia o Samoa, so I fua.
Thank you. Now, before I turn this back over to our MC for the evening, I think now we can all express our heartfelt appreciation for this excellent presentation from all the candidates.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the conclusion of our gubernatorial forum for this evening. We'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening. A special thank you to our candidates. You were in the hot seat for a while. You were posed with some very difficult, but I guess necessary questions from the public. So I know there were a lot of times you really wanted to clap and cheer, but our moderator and our timekeeper keep a very tight ship. So how about another round of applause for our candidates? And then an applause, please, for our moderator and Julia, the timekeeper. Thank you all for joining us today in person and online. We hope tonight's forum has helped you get to know your candidates a little better. Whaftaitele lawa whaatasi mai. A whai ua iaise upu wa sasi. Ia whaamangalo mai le au auna ma le mātou komiti. E poto lava tautai e se selo na atu yama. A special thank you to the ACC Phi Theta Kappa and the political science students. Thank you so much for helping us set up the chairs. As you can see, we don't have a lot of bar members, so it was very, very helpful to get the students from ACC to help us, and they said they're going to help us clean up after. Thank you for that. Hopefully, one of you or all of you decide to one day join the ranks of our bar association. We need more lawyers. Also, to their advisor, Adrian Masai, thank you for your leadership and helping bring the students to help volunteer. Thank you for KVZK TV for the live streaming services, Sight and Sound for our audio, Jacinto Maila, J&E Productions for some of the equipment we borrowed, and Department of Commerce for the venue. Faftai Telelava. Before I end with a closing prayer, I'm also praying this evening. Please let me just share with you words from Franklin D. Roosevelt, who said, "Let us never forget that government is ourselves and not an alien power over us. The ultimate rulers of our democracy is not a president, or in our case, a governor, and senators and congressmen, and government officials, but the voters of this country or this territory." So ladies and gentlemen, especially the young people of American Samoa, go out and exercise your right and your responsibility come November 5th to vote. And just before I close the closing prayer, I'd like to just remind and invite our candidates again, please, if you can remain on the stage. We will take a quick photo up with our bar members. Hopefully they all haven't run away. So our bar members, if you can make your way up towards the stage at the end. Let us pray. Our dear, kind, and most gracious Heavenly Father, at this time we come to you with our grateful hearts for the wonderful opportunity we've had tonight to hear from the candidates. We're thankful for their sacrifice, for the sacrifice of their families, and for their bravery and commitment to stepping up to the plate and putting their hats into this race. We are thankful for the peaceful territory that we live in, and we ask that they continue blessings upon our island territory and its leaders and its people. We ask you, Lord, to bless us at this time, that as we go home to our various homes and destinations, that thou will continue to be with us and that we will reach our home safely. We ask you, Lord, to continue to bless the candidates in the next few weeks as they prepare for Election Day. We love thee, Lord, and we say all these things humbly in the name of thy Son, our Savior Jesus Christ. Amen. Bar members, don't be shy. Come right up. I don't have a camera, but I'm sure many people do. We'll take a quick photo.
e pele o e isi o fatu
Jim, Sharon, Julia, Dean, let's get up on the stage. AG, President Mitzi.
O sasae masisifu itasi o le vinga lea i le lagi
Bar members, please, can we go on the stage? Or we don't want to keep our candidates waiting.
tu mai lo a